Well, we have a hurricane coming our way, so we did not get a video up today. We do have a really good video coming, though, that talks about baking the cake and following the system. There's Minnie over there. Minnie, can you say hi? Minnie, over there. There's Minnie.
Say hi, Minnie.
She's at the window. So, we do have, what's the name of that hurricane?
I think it's Ian. I think they've called it Ian.
I don't know why I'm so close to the camera here. I'm the oldest person in the car. I should be the first with the camera. So we don't have a video coming today, but we've been really working on the property a lot lately.
Yeah.
And what? Yeah, he just about ran up the road. And it reminded me of keeping the reason why we do this business in mind. The reason why we started. We started and we stay in this business not because it's easy, because it at times it's not easy.
Yeah.
In fact, more times than not, it's not easy. It's like anything else. Success has to be earned. It's not given, and you earn it by, just being persistent and consistent and willing and never being willing to quit. Failing day after day, week after week happens all the time. That's how we learn, but just not quitting. And the reason why we. And I think the point is, Angela, is the reason why we will never quit is we know the rewards of the business, and they're worth fighting for.
We were at a, which some of you probably saw some of the videos from, we were at an event, a leadership event. Well, actually, no, it was a leadership retreat, but it wasn't even that. It was a
elite producers trip.
Yeah.
Basically. We're hanging out with some.
But it wasn't, it really wasn't meetings and that kind of thing. It was a reward. My vocabulary lately is just...
Yeah, it was
anyway,
recognition and reward.
Coming back.
Circling back around.
At that event, we were sitting outside, and I don't know if you caught it. We were sitting outside at one evening after dinner. There were a bunch of us sitting around. And a lady that I have known for a while in this business came and sat down next to me, and she's always very sweet. And she works on the East Coast, far, far East Coast. And she sat down next to me, and we were chatting. And when you get into events like that, or when you get around other people in the business, it's really easy to make it sometimes there is the tendency to kind of, air out some of your war wounds, some of the stuff that you struggle with or that you go through, or this is really hard, or, oh my God, you can't believe what this client said.
Like-minded individuals.
Because you're with people that are in the same industry, right?
And suffer the same.
Right.
The day-to-day activities.
And after every, so we were kind of doing I had a client who did this, and then she would say, well, I had a client who did this, and so we were kind of going back and forth a bit. And you know what I noticed? And I thought, man, that's a great... After every time that she talked about a difficulty, she said, but you know what? They pay us so incredibly well in this business. And then, we would talk about something else, and she would say, oh my gosh, I had this client the other day who said blah, 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 blah. And then when she got to the end of that story, she said, but you know what? They pay us so incredibly well to do this. Right? And I thought it's very easy to get stuck telling the war stories. It's very easy to get stuck in the woe is me. Even if you don't intend it to be woe is me, it's very easy to get stuck about the negativity and the hard, right? It's so hard. And you forget to add on the tagline, which is, that's why they pay us what they pay us. I sit with clients sometimes that are making $30,000 a year, and I think to myself, how can you possibly survive on that kind of money?
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's two things. One is that's why they pay us so well.
Yep.
Two, it's your own business.
Right.
Right? So there are going to be setbacks. If you want to go work a 9 to 5, that's fine. And you're still going to, it goes back to what we say all the time, choose your hard. Right. For us, 9 to 5 is not an option. We'd be homeless first.
Oh my God!
And figure out a way to make some money. I'm not sitting in a cubicle, and I'm not working for another man or woman. I'm not serving a boss. If I'm gonna serve anybody, it's gonna be my own efforts, my own family, in my own business. Period. It's not negotiable. It is not. We're not even. What do you say? We're not employable. Simply because that mindset has been broken. We're not showing up at a 9 to 5 ever. So we would do, and we have. I remember when we slept in a utility trailer in a KOA park while I was trying to get started in the life insurance business. So, we have a reputation of just telling like it is with our agents, and that's the reason why. Is you can't tell me that, oh my God, that woman, cursed me on the phone. Oh my God,
Right.
that woman hung up with me. Oh my God, I dialed and
For 2 days.
for
and
2 days I didn't get an
gosh.
appointment. Give me a break. We slept in trailers, utility trailers, not campers, with a sleeping bag to get started in this industry. And when I started, there were no leads. We had to go knock on doors and dial random phone numbers out of a phone book. So we've talked about this before in this channel. So that's why we are how we how we are, and that's how we talk to you and everybody else, because we have paid the price. We have done the we've taken all the rejection, and we've survived. And our lifestyles today, and we're not wealthy by any means, but we're able to work 2-3 days a week, and be able to make multiple six figures. And we can make more if we were willing to make more, to work more, but we're not. We enjoy working on our property, and enjoy spending time, doing the things we love doing. That's why we chose the insurance vehicle. So going back to, again, what the topic of discussion is today is, remember why you started and keep that in mind, because there are going to be times when it is difficult and you're going to want to quit. But going back to a 9-to-5 is not an option, because it will never provide you the lifestyle and the work-life balance that you dreamed of having when you started this venture. That's the point. It's, yes, it's always easier and maybe more secure to go get a guaranteed paycheck and yes sir, yes ma'am, no sir, no ma'am, whatever. Can I take 10 minutes early today? I'm not doing that. But the bigger reason why I'm not doing that is because I will never be able to accomplish what I want to accomplish for in my life with having work-life balance by doing that. That's the key.
Because we talk a lot about
That's a rant there.
The box. We talk a lot about the box. You to simplify that whole concept is just to say that when you work a 9-to-5, it is what it is. Your income is what it is.
That's true.
If you make $60,000, if you take a job and you're going to get paid $60,000 a year, or $60 a day, or whatever it is, that's it. You have to make your life fit that budget. You have to make your life fit that income. In this business, we have the blessing of being able to dictate our income, which we can then dictate our lifestyle. Yeah. We can build our lifestyle because we get to build our income. I'll end with this because we are just at our first stop for today. We're getting a little bit of hurricane prep ready. Just a little bit. Angie's
a little worried. It's the first hurricane she's been through since we moved to Florida, so she has a preparation list.
Yeah, and we are, we have always had, because we've talked about this before we moved to Florida, our philosophy is, if it looks like we should leave, we're just going to load car and leave. We are not going.
It is. It does appear that it could be a direct hit on the area that we're living, which is in Crystal River, north of Tampa. If it stays south of us, then we're going to get the rain and the wind and all that kind of stuff. But if it does venture north, then it could be, we're 7 miles from that area. So we'll see. We're not worried about it.
No, because if we have to leave, we won't wait till the last minute.
Because we don't have a job, and we can just
pack the car and go.
Put a bag in the car and take a vacation up north. Hilton Head.
Anyway, when we first got into this business, I'll make this story short. When we first got into this business, I had only been in the industry. Steve had been obviously a lot longer, but I had only been selling insurance for maybe a few months, maybe a year. And we got Minnie, and Minnie got, long story short, she got very sick, and we had to take her to the vet, and there was the potential that she was going to have pretty invasive surgery in order to potentially save her life. And one of the vets said, maybe you should just prepare yourself, because it could be like an $8,000 surgery on such a small puppy. And one of the vets said, maybe you should just prepare yourself that, you might have to put her to sleep. And we just kept pursuing, well, if we have to do the surgery, what are we looking at? And they said, it could be $6,000 to $8,000, which is a lot of money for anybody. And I remember going home that afternoon and thinking, it's fine. If that's what we have to do, it's fine. Because I thought to myself, okay, $8,000. If we ran 4 extra appointments this over the course of 2 weeks, it's paid for. It's
4 to 8.
Not a big deal.
Yep.
And because I knew that I could just go out and generate, we could just go out and generate the income that we needed to satisfy that, right? It wasn't the kind of thing where we were going to have to spend, if we spent the $8,000 on a surgery, that we were going to have to pay it off for the next, 20 years or finance it or something crazy. We could just increase our income. You can't do that with a regular job. You can't go into your job and say, hey, by the way, I'm going to need an extra $8,000 next week.
25 grand. We did that for this house a year ago.
Yeah, we did.
A year ago this month.
That's right.
We did it. Not a year ago this month, but a year ago this month we moved here.
Right.
But we were June, July, and August. We were $50,000 short in the house, and we were scrambling. But we knew that, again, this is what I keep trying to tell everybody, and some of you get it, some of you don't. Some of you don't have faith in yourself, and you don't trust the process. You don't trust the system. And if you get with somebody that knows the system, that has the experience, that can coach you before, during, and after every single appointment, your odds of making in this business are greatly increased. However, leads equal conversations. More conversations equal more applications. More applications equal more income. So we knew, without a shadow of a doubt, that if we increased our lead budget, we would have more conversations. Right. We would make more money. Period. We didn't question it. Many of you question it, and you think about it all the time. And all these what ifs. We have agents like that. All these what if this happened? Well, forget all that what ifs happens.
What if they don't?
What do they do? Look, again, no one's lying to you, at least on this channel. We know what it takes to make it. Okay. And if you follow the system and you're coachable and you have a huge desire to win, desire meaning reason why you're in this business, why, and you keep that in front of you, and you don't, look, everybody's knees buckle at times, and you get weak knees a little bit, but when things get tough, and they will. But many of you get in this business. And it's like, well, if I find a good job, I'll stop doing it and go get the job. Well, okay, if you're comparing this to a job, you probably shouldn't start. You ought to go get the job, because you can't find this in a job. It's not the same thing. It's a job, or it's a business opportunity.
Well,
it's not both.
Last week was a good example of that. We had so much going on, and there were some things that came up, and we really weren't sure we were going to make it to. It was in Miramar, was where we went, Miramar Beach. Sandestin. And we really weren't sure we were going to make it or be able to go. I mean, there were just a lot of things going on. I wasn't feeling good earlier in the week, and it was literally, Steve had gone to check on the new offices. Check on the new offices that were opening, and it was 11 o'clock in the morning. And I was at my desk working, and he called me and said, I think we should go. I think we should just go. And I hadn't even packed yet. And we were supposed to leave at noon. And
just, when Angela packs for a trip, it takes her the entire day.
It does, because I never forget anything.
Day or multiple
ever.
Days. Yeah.
I never forget anything.
Could actually go on for multiple days.
I never. I could, when I
got 4 suitcases for a day trip. Sorry.
Okay, Nancy. Anyway, that's a little inside joke. Anyway, when I don't forget things when I pack, I'm pretty methodical when I pack.
Yeah, which is good.
Steve is like most men.
Even when I travel,
he goes and he grabs 1 pair of shorts and like 6 shirts and 1 pair of shoes, and that's it. And he calls that packing. It's not packing anyway. And so he said, I think we should go. And so I literally got it from my desk, walked into the bedroom, and started pulling out clothes and stuff. And an hour later, we were in the car on the road.
Yep.
You couldn't do that. Like, you couldn't just say to your boss, oh, hey, I'm going away for the weekend. Bye. And walk out. And but the freedom,
it's all those little things.
Yeah. Right. That costs, that costs work and
we've been doing this for so many years, and we've always been able to make our own decisions, and control our day-to-day lives because we don't have a job, and that's the key. We're not wealthy, but we've always done better we could than we could if we had a job. Again, I've always said I'd rather make $200,000 in this business than $400,000 working for somebody else. It's just a different lifestyle and a different level of freedom.
And when you get, the longer that you do it, Steve said, we're unemployable.
Yeah.
Part of the reason we're unemployable is because of our mindset.
Yeah.
Before, when I was transitioning from real estate to this business, I had taken a retail job for, I don't know, I think I was there for 6 months, something like that.
No, well, maybe not quite that long. Because Christmas season.
Not quite that long. And I remember the manager of the store multiple times, because she would say, hey, can you take this stuff and go put this on this shelf? And, like a half hour later, I'd still be kind of finagling it. And she'd say, I would say to her, I was thinking, maybe what we should do is put this up towards the front of the store, do this or do that. And I can remember her looking at me like, just go put these boxes there. I didn't ask.
Right, she didn't want your input. You
right?
She just wanted you to go do the job.
She didn't want my input.
Yeah,
she didn't.
And that's the problem with jobs is that you actually were more and I don't, it doesn't matter. You actually were more qualified for the position than she was, and she felt threatened. And that's the problem with having a job is that I don't know. If you're happy with a job, you should stay at the job.
You should stay in your job.
Should not open your own business, and you should not look at this opportunity. Yeah. But if you want to control your life. Right. And you want to own your own business and make your own decisions and be able to work your business around your family, not your family around your business or your family around your job. So you don't have family life when you have a job. They tell you, someone doesn't show up for work and you got to come in. You got to work overtime or when you can leave, when you show up, when you have a smoke break. I don't need that kind of stuff in my life. I never have for 45 plus years. And I've been in this business since I was 24. So I clearly had a clear picture of, it's like was that the game show door number 1 or door number 2? What was the name of the show? Was it Truth and Consequences or no? Whatever. I knew what door number 1 and door number 2, and there was a very clear difference between door number 1 and door number 2, and I wasn't going to door number 2. Like I said, we were willing to be homeless if necessary to succeed in this business. And that's what we're looking for agents. We're not looking for someone that says, hey, I'm going to give it a shot, and if it works for me. Look, the business works. And it will work for you if you're coachable and you have a great work ethic and you understand why you're in this business. There's no question. It works for everybody that's coachable, that will follow instructions. Not come here and then try to change what we're doing to fit the way you think it should be done. Like Angela, when she went to work at that retail store, she went in there with and started changing the way they did business, and they weren't appreciative of that. So same here. What we're doing works. It's time tested and proven. Even our 100% virtual platform right now, our newest agent Brady, who's we're very proud of. I think this will be his 8th or 9th week in the business. He's still in the learning process, but averages putting up about 5,000 or 5 to 10 apps a week. We'll leave it at that, and because he's very coachable. He has a great work ethic. He knows why he's doing this business, and his family is very important to him. So that's what you have to have here, honestly. And if you're looking at this like it's something to do while you're looking for a better job, then you probably ought to do something else, like do Amway or do Mary Kay or Tupperware or something like that, because there is a learning curve here. It's not great, but it's 90 days. To really kind of get you get all the pieces of the puzzle working for you. We help a lot of that in that area because we really are focused on 3 areas: phone, booking appointments, product. Angela helps all the agents select their products so you don't get declines, you get paid fast, and presentation. And it takes 90 days to get that gelling right. So again, you got to have the time. You got the time, and you got to be willing to commit the resources, both time and money resources. And it is a leads-based sales opportunity. Can you do it without leads? Absolutely. But you're not going to make a lot of money without leads, because that's how we scale our income. Again, more leads equal more applications, period. So you got to keep the end in mind. We're very clear on that. I mean, we stood out last night in the front yard looking at the property and go, we own this. you know, and it was all bought and paid for by this business. And so, you know, we're not going anywhere. Hope we're grateful that you watched the videos, and make comments. You know, post your reason below. We'd love to hear from you. We don't hear from you often enough. We don't do this for us. We're doing it for you. So, you know, post below why you are in this business or why you want to get in this business. I'd love to read those. Right now, we have to go into Harbor Freight and pick up some supplies for the homestead. Then we're going to Home Depot. They know us by first name basis.
Oh,
Home Depot. Minnie, do you have anything that you want to say before we go?
You got your rain slicker for the hurricane?
Rain slicker? I don't like water. Anyway, we're grateful that you're here. Appreciate you watching these videos. Leave us a comment below. Let us know why why you got in this business, and any struggles that you might be having that we can help with, or why you are thinking about getting in this business. Have a great day, and we'll update you on the hurricane as it approaches. Supposedly, it's Sunday today. We try to put out a video every Sunday. It's supposed to hit landfall by Wednesday. So keep us in your prayers.
Bye, everybody. Okay, let's go.